40% of Americans earning over $300,000 a year say they live paycheck to paycheck. Goldman Sachs published that number in their 2025 survey, and I had to read it 3 times to believe it. People pulling in triple what the median American family earns, telling a bank with a straight face that they are one broken dishwasher away from a crisis. If you've ever stood in your office kitchen looking at a coworker's watch, a coworker's car, a coworker's Instagram vacation, and wondered how the math works on their salary, the answer is, it doesn't. The math has never worked. My name has spent way too much time reverse engineering how the average American worker actually pays for the lifestyle they're showing off. Because once you understand it, the whole office starts looking different. The BMW in the lot, the kitchen remodel, the Cabo tan, none of it means what you think it means. This isn't a story about budgeting. It's a story about a collective illusion, and the bill is coming due. Hit subscribe. Let me unpack that Goldman stat because it's the foundation for everything else in this video. 40% of $300,000 earners living paycheck to paycheck. Not a few of them. Almost half. And here's the part that should actually alarm you. It's a higher rate than people making $100 to $200K a year, where it's closer to 25%. So as income goes up, financial stress doesn't go down. It goes up. Which makes zero sense until you understand what's really happening. Your first reaction is probably the same as mine was. These people are lying, or they're delusional, or they're just complaining for sport. But Goldman didn't leave it there. They actually asked why. The answer they got, quote, lifestyle creep. Luxuries have become necessities. In plain English, these people spent the raise. Every single one of them. They got a promotion, bought a bigger house, got a bonus, leased a nicer car, got a windfall, booked a vacation, over and over until the math on a $300,000 salary looks exactly like the math on a $60,000 salary. Stressful, tight, and vaguely hopeless. And I'm not pretending I'm above this, by the way. I've done the kitchen math, I've stared at a coworker's car and wondered what I was doing wrong. Everyone has. That's what makes this so effective as an illusion. It works on smart people too. A Bank of America study from late 2025 found that about 1 in 5 households earning over $150,000 show behavioral signs of living paycheck to paycheck, meaning almost every dollar that comes in is already spoken for before it hits the account. Bankrate's 2025 data showed that 59% of all Americans couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency from savings. 27% of American adults have literally zero emergency savings, the highest since 2020. So here's what's actually happening in your office. Let's call him Greg. When Greg tells you about his remodel and his trip and his wife's SUV, there is a non-trivial chance that Greg is also the guy who would absolutely spiral if his dishwasher broke next Tuesday. The watch, the car, the vacation, none of that proves he has money, it proves he spent money. Two completely different things, and our entire culture has convinced us they're the same. This is the first thing you have to internalize before anything else in this video makes sense. Looking wealthy and being wealthy have basically nothing to do with each other. In fact, they're often inversely correlated. The Ramsey Solutions Millionaire Study, the largest behavioral study of actual American millionaires we have, found that the average millionaire drives a 4-year-old car with around 41,000 miles on it. That's it. That's the car. Not a G-Wagon. A 4-year-old Honda Pilot that's been through one family vacation and a lot of drive thrusts. Meanwhile, Greg is out here leasing a BMW X5 for about $1,000 a month to look like what he thinks a millionaire looks like. And he's not. He's just broken a nicer jacket. But how? Logistically, how is he pulling this off? How do you keep the illusion going month after month? Grab a snack because this is where it gets dark. The short answer is debt. The long answer is more interesting because the debt has gotten creative. Let's walk through the scaffolding one layer at a time. Layer 1, credit cards. As of Q4 2025, Americans are sitting on $1.28 trillion in credit card debt. That's a T, as in trillion. Total household debt in this country is now $18.8 trillion, the highest in history. The average credit card APR right now is about 21.5%, and the average balance for someone carrying debt is $7,886. 47% of cardholders now carry a balance month to month, up from 39% just 4 years ago. And here's the really dark one. 23% of people with credit card debt believe they will never get out of it. They've given up. They're paying 21% interest forever. Layer 2, buy now, pay later. This is the stealth weapon, and it's everywhere. Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm. It doesn't show up on your credit report the same way, which is why nobody knows their coworker is using it. In 2025, LendingTree found that 25% of BNPL users were using it to buy groceries, up from 14% the year before. But here's the part nobody talks about. 32% of BNPL users earning over $100,000 a year use it to bridge to the next paycheck. That's the highest of any income group. The high earners are the most dependent on payday loan style financing for basic living. Ever wonder why everyone's vacation photos look so casual now? Because admitting you're still paying for Coachella in September is embarrassing. Billboard reported that roughly 60% of Coachella 2025 general admission ticket buyers financed their ticket with Klarna. So when you see those festival photos on LinkedIn, a lot of those people are still paying for the ticket well into fall. 47% of BNPL users also admitted to paying late in the past year, and 63% have multiple BNPL loans running at the same time. They are literally running a miniature portfolio of lifestyle debt. Layer 3, the auto loan. This is Greg's favorite layer. The average new car payment in America hit $772 a month in Q4 2025, all-time record. But here's the real tell. 20.3% of new car buyers, that's 1 in 5, are signing up for payments of $1,000 or more per month. That's also a record. And 29.3% of trade-ins are underwater, meaning the buyer owes more on the old car than it's worth, with the average negative equity sitting at $7,214. They're rolling that loss into the new loan. For 84 months, 7 years. People are driving cars they'll still be paying off when the car is older than most middle schoolers, and the leases, the luxury ones you see in the parking lot, 70 to 75% of new Mercedes, BMWs, Audis, and Porsches in America are leased, not purchased. For German luxury EVs, that number is 93%. Greg doesn't own the BMW, Greg is renting the BMW. In 3 years, BMW takes it back and Greg signs up for the next one. It is an endless subscription to the feeling of having a BMW. So the scaffolding is credit cards on the bottom, BNPL in the middle, a stretched auto loan on top, and then a thin coat of paint. Which means when you walk past Greg's BMW in the lot tomorrow, just remember that's not Greg's BMW, that's BMW Financial's BMW. Greg just pays the rent. And that's just the debt you can see. The invisible stuff, that's where it gets even weirder. Alright, here's where the whole thing gets weird. Because everything I just described can be written off as self-inflicted. Bad choices, dumb loans, vibes over math, but the next layer isn't even their money. Savings.com ran their 2025 study on this, and the numbers are genuinely absurd. 50% of parents with adult children over the age of 18 are sending their adult kids money on a regular basis. The average amount is $1,474 per month. That's almost $18,000 a year per adult child. And it's not just rent for the 22-year-old still figuring life out. For Gen Z adults between 18 and 28, the number jumps to $1,813 a month. For millennials aged 29 to 44, it's still $863 a month. Yes, there are 40-year-olds getting $1,000 a month from mom. And the best part? Savings.com found that parents in the workforce are now giving 2.3 times more money to their adult kids than they're contributing to their own retirement accounts. So that coworker you're comparing yourself to, the one whose lifestyle makes zero mathematical sense on her salary, there's a real chance the math is made up somewhere else. Pew Research found that 44% of adults between 18 and 34 got financial help from their parents in the past 12 months. That's almost half of all young adults. The National Association of Realtors reported that 22% of first-time homebuyers in 2025 used family money for their down payment. Redfin's 2024 data was even more striking. 36% of Gen Z and millennial buyers who plan to buy soon expect a cash gift from their parents. That's up from 18% in 2019. And then there's the iceberg under the whole thing, the great wealth transfer. Cerulli Associates updated their forecast in late 2024 to $124 trillion, up from the $84 trillion everyone was quoting for years. $124 trillion will move from boomers to their kids and grandkids over the next 2 decades. And here's the part that matters for your office. Half of that, $62 trillion, is coming from just 2% of households. Inheritance is not evenly distributed. Most of it lands on a tiny number of people, and those people then quietly look like everyone else in the parking lot, except their math works because someone else is doing it for them. So when you're standing next to Brenda at the coffee maker doing envy math, remember she might not be outperforming you financially, she might just be playing the game with a completely different starter pack. You're running the marathon. She got dropped off at mile 22 in an Uber. Both of you finished, only one of you trained. And Greg? There's a real chance Greg's mom is Venmoing him $800 a month we never see. That BMW isn't just rented from the bank, it's co-signed by boomer wealth he'll never mention at lunch. Here's the one your coworker will never ever tell you about at lunch. If they didn't inherit and they're not drowning in debt, there's a third possibility: they're working more than you think. A lot more. The Bureau of Labor Statistics released a genuinely wild data point in November 2025. Over 9.3 million Americans were working multiple jobs simultaneously, the highest raw number ever recorded since they started tracking it in 1994. 5.7% of employed Americans, the highest share in 25 years. Half of these multiple job holders have a college degree. It is no longer a broke college kid thing, it's a fully credentialed, salaried, 34-year-old thing. Then there's the side hustle economy. Bankrate found that 36% of American adults had a side hustle in 2024. And 41% of those side hustlers use the money for discretionary spending, the fun stuff. Vacations, dinners, the new jacket, not survival, fun. So when that coworker casually drops $600 on a weekend getaway, it's possible that money didn't come from her salary at all. It came from the Etsy store or the DoorDash Saturdays or the freelance gigs she doesn't talk about at work. And then there's the hidden modern phenomenon, overemployment. A 2023 Resume Builder survey of fully remote workers found that 79% had secretly worked 2 or more remote jobs in the past year, 36% were doing it at the time of the survey, 34% were pulling over $100K combined. Fortune ran a profile in August 2025 on workers holding 3, 4, even 5 remote jobs at the same time, making $725,000 a year, using AI to hit all their deadlines. Picture this. You think you're working in an office with 40 people. Statistically, some of them might be secretly working somewhere else at the same time. Greg isn't just on that long bathroom break. Greg might be on a Zoom call for his other full-time job, literally crushing 2 stand-ups at once. The camera's off for a reason. When you're doing NB math on your coworker's life, you might be comparing your one income to his hidden 2. You're running the race fair. He slipped a GPS tracker into his shoe and an e-bike into his backpack. And he still looks exhausted every morning. Because he is. That dead stare Greg has by 3 p.m. isn't stress. It's a second stand-up meeting. Let me hit you with one more reframe and then I'll get to what you should actually do. The visible things your coworker owns, the watch, the handbag, the car, the renovation, those are not wealth. They are specifically, almost by design, the opposite of wealth. They are wealth's impersonators. There's this idea in economics called inconspicuous consumption. A 2010 study in the Journal of Marketing by Hahn, Nunez, and Doxe found something fascinating. The wealthiest consumers tend to prefer luxury goods with quiet, subtle branding, small logos, muted signifiers. Meanwhile, the people who spend the highest percentage of their income on luxury tend to buy the loudest, most branded versions regardless of their actual net worth. In other words, the louder the logo, the less money is usually behind it. Real money whispers, fake money screams. Picture 2 guys at dinner. One's in a plain cashmere sweater, no visible logo, quiet watch, driving a 5-year-old Lexus. He has $4 million. 3 tables over, there's a guy with a loud designer belt, a loud watch, Range Rover Sport parked out front. He has $12,000 in his checking account and a HELOC nobody knows about. Both of them are performing something. Only one of them is performing wealth. The other is performing the performance of wealth. Guess which one you notice? The numbers back this up brutally. The Hermes Birkin, long marketed as the ultimate investment bag, has dropped in resale premium from 2.2 times retail in 2022 to just 1.4 times in late 2025. Rolex prices on the secondary market are down more than 15% from their 2022 peak. Patek Philippe Nautilus models have dropped roughly 30% in a single year. If you had put $10,000 into a Birkin 10 years ago, it's worth about $19,000 today. If you had put that same $10,000 into the S&P 500, it's worth between $30,000 and $40,000. The stock market quietly crushed the investment piece. Nobody wants to tell you that because nobody's making a TikTok about it. And the subscription stuff, the small expenses, those are quietly draining people too. C+R research found that Americans think they spend about $86 a month on subscriptions. The real number is $219. That's a $1,600 a year blind spot. 42% of people admit they're paying for subscriptions they forgot about. Your coworker isn't just fighting his car payment, he's also getting slow bled by 6 streaming services, 2 fitness apps, and a meditation app he hasn't opened since 2022. So when you look at your coworker's life and feel small, remember what you're actually looking at. A stage set, props rented from various lenders, a costume with a 4-year payment plan, and a guy who genuinely cannot afford to take a Tuesday off. So where does this leave you? Hopefully in a better place than where you started. Because here's the thing nobody's going to tell you at the office. You are not behind. You are not doing it wrong. The people you think are winning are largely performing a very expensive play, and the ticket price is their entire future. Remember the 40% of $300K earners living paycheck to paycheck? Those are the people you're trying to impress. That's the finish line you're sprinting toward. That's the cage. Real wealth in America looks almost boring. The Ramsey Millionaire study of over 10,000 actual millionaires found that 79% received 0 inheritance. 33% never earned 6 figures in a single working year in their entire career. The top 5 millionaire careers in order were engineer, accountant, teacher, management, and attorney. Teacher made the top 5. Not doctor, not tech bro, teacher. 8 out of 10 invested in their workplace 401k. 94% lived on less than they made. Roughly 3/4 had never carried a credit card balance in their lives. They drove paid-off Toyotas. They lived in modest homes. They were not on Instagram. And the killer number, if you take the current average new car payment of $772 a month, and instead of making that payment, you invest it from age 25 to 65 at historical stock. Market returns, you end up with over $6 million. $6 million. That is the exact dollar amount difference between the coworker leasing the BMW and the quiet coworker driving the 2019 Camry. Same salary, different car, different retirement. One of them is showing off now, the other one is going to own everything later. So the next time Greg walks into the office kitchen with a new watch and a Cabo tan, do not spiral, do not compete. Do not open your banking app in a panic. Just smile, nod, and go quietly automate your 401k, pay down whatever balance is eating you alive, and keep driving your car until the wheels fall off. Because in 15 years, when the music stops and the loans come due and the parents stop sending checks, the person you envied today is going to be asking you how you did it quietly at a different coffee maker. That's the ugly truth about how your coworkers afford their lifestyle. Most of them don't. You just can't see the bill yet. Hit the like button, subscribe for more breakdowns like this, and I'll see you in the next one.